Welcome to What Dwells Beneath, the podcast that dives headfirst into the shadows of true crime, the paranormal, and the utterly unexplained. I'm your host and lantern bearer, Percival, joined by my producer, Neku, and our research assistant, Cryptid, who's unearthing the facts that chill the bone. Each episode, we peel back the veil to explore the mysteries that haunt our world. Ghosts, cryptids, vanishings, and the secrets that linger just out of sight. So grab a flashlight, lock the door, and join us as we uncover what lurks in the dark. Imagine you're alone in the Alaskan wilderness, 200 miles from the nearest road. It's October 2025, and the air bites at negative 20 degrees. Your breath puffing like ghosts in the dusk, curling into the twilight. The snow crunches under your boots, each step swallowed by a silence so deep it feels alive, pressing against your eardrums. Jagged peaks loom overhead, and their shadows stretching long across the tundra. The pines sway, their branches whispering secrets that the wind refuses to carry. Secrets that make your skin prickle. Your compass spins steady in your gloved hand, a lifeline in this frozen maze. Until it doesn't. The needle jerks wild, spinning like it's caught in a lie, mocking your sense of direction. You squint into the trees, and you notice something. The shadows. They're moving. Not branches swaying in the breeze, not a bear lumbering through the snow. Something else. A shape. Tall. Flickering, like a bad signal on an old TV. It edges blurring into the fog. Your heart hammers, a drumbeat in the quiet. You call out, your voice swallowed by the void. There is no answer. Then, silence. No scream, no track, no trace. You're just gone. This isn't a campfire tale, folks. This is the Alaska Triangle, a frozen void that's swallowed over 20,000 souls since the 1970s. Hikers vanish from the well-worn trails, their gear left untouched as if they stepped out of reality. Pilots drop from the clear skies, their planes dissolving into the ether. Entire communities go quiet, their fires cold, and their stories lost. What pulls them under? Is it nature's unrelenting wrath, blizzards, crevices, beasts that hunt in the silence? Or something older, hungrier, watching from the white, waiting for its moment? Tonight, we're trekking into the ice-cold heart of the Alaska's own Bermuda Triangle, a place where compasses lie, skies glow with unnatural lights, and the wilderness doesn't just hide you, it claims you. We'll chase the stories of those who stepped into the triangle and never stepped out, names etched in the snow, lost in time. Are we talking UFOs snatching souls from the sky, portals to realms beyond our own? Hungry spirits from an ancient lore, or just land so wild it devours without mercy? That, listeners, is up to you to decide. So, stick with us, because in the Alaska Triangle, every step echoes, but not every echo steps back. To understand the Alaska Triangle, you gotta feel its weight. This isn't just a place, it's a predator, a frozen beast sprawled across 100,000 square miles of the last frontier. Picture a jagged triangle scratched onto a map, its points like claws. First you have Anchorage, the South's bustling hub, pulsing with life under the shadow of the Chugach Mountain. Juneau, east, where the misty fjords hide secrets in their folds and the air feels heavy with unspoken stories. And then finally, the Utqiagvik, way up north, where the sun vanishes for 2 months, plunging the land into darkness, and the Arctic Ocean gnaws at the shore like a hungry ghost, its waves whispering of things lost. This is raw, untamed land, wild in a way that makes your bones ache. 17 of America's 20 tallest peaks claw at the sky here. Denali towers at 20,310 feet, a giant casting a shadow over the triangle. Glaciers stretch wide enough to swallow cities, their crevices deep as skyscrapers, yawning like mouths waiting for a misstep. Taiga forests choke the light, their roots tangling the traps and branches snapping like warnings. On top of that, the many lakes that glitter across the landscape, each one a mirror reflecting something you don't want to see. Maybe your own fear, maybe something else. The tundra buries your tracks in hours, and winters plummet to negative 60 degrees, where blizzards erase trails like they're mocking your existence. Half the nation's wilderness lives here. More caribou than people, more silence than sound. And that silence, it's not empty. It feels alive, like it's watching you, waiting for you to slip. The Triangle got its name in 1972, riding the Bermuda Triangle's spooky coattails after a high-profile vanishing we'll get to soon. The indigenous people of this land knew its hunger centuries before. Their oral histories, passed down through generations, whisper of thin places, spots where the veil between worlds fray, where time slips like ice underfoot, and voices call from nowhere, begging you to follow. These aren't fairy tales. They're survival guides, etched in the stories of people who lived there for a millennia. Since 1988, over 16,000 people have vanished in Alaska, and the Triangle claims the lion's share. That's 2,250 missing each year, double the U.S. average per capita. Hikers step off their trails, their gear found untouched, tents zipped, food uneaten as if they walked into another dimension. Entire villages go quiet, their fires cold, their homes abandoned. The land doesn't just hide bodies, it devours them, leaving nothing but questions that hang in the air like frost. Now, let's lean into the old ways for a moment, because the indigenous stories set the stage for the Triangle's terror. Tlingit legends tell of the Kushtaka, which is an otter-like spirit that haunts rivers and coasts. They're tricksters, shapeshifters, mimicking the cries of your loved ones. Your wife calling your name in panic, your kids sobbing in the dark. You follow, heart pounding, desperate to save them, only to find yourself knee-deep in icy water. The current pulling you down to the underwater realm, never to return. Others speak of mountain spirits, shadows that steal breath and time, luring hunters into crevices where the world feels wrong. These aren't just stories, they're warnings carved into the culture passed down to keep people alive. Imagine standing on a frozen river, hearing your name on the wind. Do you run toward it or away? But before we chase those spirits into the fog, let's ground this into the grid. What if the real horror isn't paranormal at all? What if it's just Alaska, vast, cruel, and indifferent, claiming its due? Let's dig into the cases that make the Triangle a legend and see if the answers lie in the snow, or beyond it. Now we just got the meat. The stories that make Alaska Triangle a legend. These aren't just missing person cases. They're voids, holes in reality where people, planes, and answers vanish without a trace. Let's walk through 5 cases that haunt this frozen wilderness, each one a scream in the snow, begging to be heard. These are the stories that keep Alaskans checking the skies and locking their doors. Case 1. The 1972 Cessna vanishing. October 16, 1972. A Cessna 310 lifts off from Anchorage, headed for Juneau, 600 miles, a routine hop through the Triangle's heart. On board is U.S. House Majority Leader Hale Boggs, a political heavyweight who'd been poking holes in the Warren Commission's JFK assassination report. And this was raising eyebrows in Washington. Next, we have Congressman Nick Begich, Alaska's own rising star. And with him was his aide Russell Brown, and finally pilot Don Johns, a veteran with several thousand hours flying through these treacherous skies. The weather's clear, there is no storms, no turbulence, just a crisp fall day. Last radio call cackles through at 9:12 a.m., stating everything's fine. Then, nothing. No mayday, no distress signal, no debris, just silence, heavy as the snow. The largest search in Alaskan history then kicks off, with 40 planes, 50 helicopters, 70 vessels, scouring 325,000 square miles for 39 days. They find absolutely nothing. Not a wing, not a seat, not a scrap of metal glistening in the sun. Boggs was a big deal. Some whisper he was digging too deep into FBI secrets, maybe even J. Edgar Hoover's personal dirt. Is this a conspiracy? Sure, it's juicy, But locals had other ideas. The very same week that the plane went missing, many reported strange glows in the sky near Juneau, like stars moving wrong, darting too fast for planes. Compasses spun in circles, and they were completely useless. Was this mechanical failure, a hidden storm, or something that doesn't crash, but takes? The triangle didn't just swallow a plane, it erased it and Washington's elite with it. Case number 2, the 1950 military massacre. Let's rewind to January 26, 1950, the early Cold War. A Douglas C-54 Skymaster loaded with 44 servicemen, and these were young guys, fresh off World War II, and some still haunted by the Pacific. The Skymaster takes off from Elmendorf Air Force Base near Anchorage, bound for Great Falls, Montana. 2 hours in, flying over the triangle's heart, the pilot radios. Visibility unlimited. This means clear skies, no worries, just another day in the air. Then poof, gone. No distress call, no wreckage, and no bodies. The US and Canada launch a massive hunt. Thousands of volunteers, aerial sweeps over glaciers, ships combing the icy coast, but nothing. Not a single piece of the plane, not a shred of the 44 lives aboard. This was post-World War II, when Alaska was a hotspot for secret military bases and UFO sightings. And locals swore they saw glowing orbs tailing flights that month, darting over the mountains like they owned the sky. Declassified military records, cracked open years later, note unexplained radar anomalies. That very same night. Blips that didn't belong. Was it a crash in the unforgiving wild, hidden by snow, or something pulling them out of the sky, leaving no trace? Case number 3, Gary Southerden's hunt gone cold. Mid-1970s, exact date is kind of fuzzy, the records get spotty out there. Gary Southerden, a 25-year-old New Yorker with a taste for adventure, heads to Porcupine River, deep in the Triangle, for a solo hunting trip. He's no rookie, he's testing survival gear, cocooning in the wild, his friends say, living off the land like a modern frontiersman. He's got a rifle, a pack, and a plan to hunt moose, maybe bag a story to tell back home. Weeks pass, no word. Search parties scour the riverbanks, helicopters buzz the tundra, their blades slicing through the silence. Nothing. Fast forward to 1997. A hiker stumbles on a bleached skull along the river, etched with bare tooth marks like a warning carved in the bone. There's no gear, no camp, and no trace of Gary's last moments. Now, 2022, when the DNA test finally confirms it's him. Mauled, frozen, and lost to the elements. A rare solve in the Triangle, but it's cold comfort. Bears don't eat backpacks, rifles, or tents. So where's the rest? His friends swear he knew the wild. He's too smart to get lost, too tough to go down easy. Did a grizzly get him? Or did something lead him off the trail, deeper into the Triangle's jaws? But this also leads us to ask another question. How many more lie unfound in its crevices? There are stories buried under snow, waiting for a thaw that never comes. Now, case number 4. The 1986 JAL UFO chase. November 17th, 1986, Japan Airlines Flight 1628, a cargo plane, cruises from Paris to Anchorage, slicing through the Triangle's airspace at 35,000 feet. The captain, Kenji Taruchi, a veteran with over 10,000 hours, spots 3 massive objects, described as walnut-shaped UFOs, each twice the size of an aircraft carrier. They pace the plane for 50 minutes, darting information glowing with an eerie pulsing light that doesn't belong in the sky. FAA radar pings them too. Ground controls scramble, their voices tight with confusion. Taruchi radios, they're not human, and the objects weave, hover, then vanish as the plane nears Anchorage, like they were toying with him. There was no abductions and no attack, just a taunt, as if saying, we're here and we choose who leaves. Since 2000, over 2,000 planes have crashed or vanished in the Alaskan skies, with over 90% and the triangle. Is this mechanical failure? Sure, icing and turbulence are real, but radar doesn't lie. Pilots don't hallucinate for 50 minutes. What was following that flight, watching them from the stars? And why does the triangle keep claiming wings? And yes, I understand we've had a lot of UFO cases, but let's go to case number 5. This is the 1993 Oniak hikers. In August 1993, near Oniak, a small village in the triangle's western edge, a group of 4 hikers, 2 locals and 2 tourists, set out for a week-long trek along the Kuskokwim River. They're experienced, packing maps, radios, and enough supplies for a month. They check in by radio on day 3, stating all good following the river. Then, silence. After several days of no one radioing in, search teams fan out, covering 500 square miles. They find a single backpack, unzipped, contents untouched, half buried in the mud. No tracks, no signs of struggle, and no bodies. Locals whisper of the Kushtaka, the otter spirit, saying the river claimed them. Others point to the sky. UFO reports spiked that summer, with fishermen spotting lights dancing over the river. Was it a flash flood? Maybe a bear attack? Or did the triangle open its jaws again, swallowing 4 lives without a ripple? These cases aren't just stats, they're screams into the void. Hikers, planes, lives, gone without a whisper. The triangle doesn't leave clues, it leaves questions, each one sharper than the last. Is it just the wild, too vast and too cruel, or is something waiting, watching, choosing who steps out and who stays lost forever? Alright, so let's pull back the spooky curtain and get real for a minute. Alaska's a beast. 730,000 people spread across a state twice the size of Texas, where nature doesn't play nice. 3 million lakes, some deeper than your worst nightmares, and their surfaces are hiding bogs that swallow boats and bones alike. Crevices that could hide a house, their edges crumbling under a single misstep. And let's not forget the grizzlies that'll tear through your tent like it's paper. Wolves that hunt in silence, stalking through the snow, and moose that'll charge without a second thought, their antlers like battering rams. And then you have blizzards that flip visibility in minutes, turning a clear trail into a whiteout trap where you can't even see your own hand. Hypothermia sneaks up fast, hitting at negative 40 degrees, triggering your brain into paradoxical undressing, which makes people strip naked, thinking they're burning up, only to freeze in the snow, leaving their bodies curled like question marks. With so few people, search teams are stretched thin. Volunteers can't cover over 100,000 square miles, no matter how hard they try. Bodies sink in bogs, get buried in avalanches, or lie in ravines for decades, picked clean by ravens and foxes. No, this isn't a vile vortex, it's just wilderness math. It's cold and it's brutal. Now, many question the triangle's magnetic quirks. This is coastal geology, not portals. Compasses spin because of iron deposits in the mountains, not alien tech or interdimensional rifts. Planes crash because Alaska skies are a gauntlet. Turbulence that shakes bolts loose, icing that coats wings in seconds, and peaks that appear out of nowhere, hidden by the clouds. Since 1940, small planes have gone down at a rate of 1 every 9 days, and the triangle's vastness means wreckage stays lost, buried under snow or sunk in lakes. And skeptics point to the numbers. 2,250 missing a year sounds wild, but Alaska's population is tiny. 730,000 in a state bigger than most countries. The per capita rate isn't supernatural, it's grim, a product of low density and high danger. A retired Alaskan pilot once said, "The place doesn't forgive mistakes, not yours and not the weather's." Fair point. The land is indifferent, a machine that grinds up the crashes and the unlucky alike. But even the skeptics squirm when cases like Boggs Plain leave nothing behind. Not a bolt, not a bone, not a whisper of debris after 39 days of searching 325,000 square miles. That's not just math. That's a mystery that claws at you. What about the radar blips in 1986 tailing the JAL Flight 1628? Or the untouched gear in Aniak, like the hikers stepped out of their lives. Science does explain a lot, but it doesn't fill those voids. Something about the triangle feels off, like the land itself is keeping score. Now let's lean into the dark, where the Alaska Triangle gets weird. These theories aren't for the faint of heart. They're the kind that make you double check the locks, glance at the sky, and wonder what's looking back. First up, UFOs. Since World War II, Alaska's been a hotspot for glowing crafts, especially near military bases like Elmendorf, where the sky seems to hum with secrets. Now, divers at Lake Iliana, Alaska's biggest lake and deep enough to hide a city, report giant black creatures gliding through the depths, too fast for fish, too big for drones. They've seen orbs too, darting underwater, glowing like cold fire. The 1986 JAL flight saw UFOs the size of aircraft carriers, pacing a plane for nearly an hour, which was in fact radar confirmed by the FAA. Now, here's the theory. An underground alien base carved beneath glaciers or hidden in the lake bed, snatching planes and people like toys. Is this abductions or silent pulls into the light? Imagine flying over the triangle, 35,000 feet up, seeing a glow below, and knowing you're not alone. Next, we have the cryptid angle, and it's a doozy. The first of note is Bigfoot, more specifically, its tracks. Big and aggressive ones. Deep enough to sink a boot. Seen to turn up near vanishings, especially the ones near the Chugach Mountains. Locals call it the hairy man. And they don't mean a lumberjack with a beard haircut. These tracks aren't just footprints, they're deliberate, like something's marking its territory. Then you have the local tribes talk of the Kushtaka, which is the otter spirit, and it's even creepier. They're shapeshifters, mimicking your mom's voice, your kid's cry, luring you into icy rivers. You follow, heart pounding, thinking you're saving them, only to sink in the dark and never seen again. Picture it. You're lost, it's dusk, the air is so cold it burns, and you hear your name on the wind. It's soft and desperate. Do you follow or do you run? Some say the triangle is a vortex, spinning counterclockwise and warping your mind. Hikers report time skips, hours lost in a blink, like the land stole their clock. The indigenous stories go deeper, portals to spirit realms where the ice is thin and souls slip through, leaving their bodies behind. The Athabascans talk of mountain spirits, shadows that steal breath, guiding hunters into crevices where the world feels dead. Like you've crossed a line you can't uncross. Do you want wilder? Some point to ancient energy, lost technology from a forgotten civilization, buried under permafrost, humming with power that messes with compasses and minds. Others talk of haunted shipwrecks off Alaska's coast, ghosts of drowned sailors pulling souls to join them in the deep. The triangle is not alone. Japan's Devil's Sea, the Bermuda Triangle, even the Dragon's Triangle of Taiwan, they all share the exact same patterns. Vanishings, lights, compasses gone mad. Is there a global web of veil tears, places where reality frays? And let's not forget the human angle. Not serial killers, but desperation. In the 1800s, gold rush miners vanished here, chasing riches into the wild. Were they lost to greed, or did the triangle claim them for trespassing? I'm not saying aliens are ghosts, but something is out there, choosing who stays and who goes. Maybe it's the land itself, alive, hungry, deciding who belongs. What do you think? Is it nature's cruelty or something older, something that watches? Let's get back up to modern times. It's 2025 and the Alaska Triangle is still hungry and it's still whispering. Drone searches fail, batteries die, signal drops in the heart of the triangle like the land's jamming them. Last year, reports surfaced of orbs over Anchorage glowing like cold stars, too steady for planes and too bright for satellites. A hiker vanished near Denali in 2024, his GPS tracker found spinning in the snow, battery drained to nothing, its screen flickering like it was possessed. Climate change is melting permafrost, spinning up old bones, moose, bear, and human. But also maybe older secrets. Things buried before history had a name. Now, what sparked this episode was a listener letter. They wrote in hearing their brother's voice on a trail near Juneau calling from the trees. Except the brother was 2,000 miles away. But I'm not going to spoil this. It is an insane story, and it deserves its own spot in a listener encounter episode. But from Hellbog's silent flight to Gary Southerden's bear-marked skull, from the hiker's untouched packs to orbs pacing planes, the Alaska Triangle devours without apology. Planes vanish into clear skies, leaving not a bolt behind. Hikers dissolve into the tundra, their gear mocking the searches. The snow seems to keep its secrets, and the silence screams louder than any storm. Is it just wilderness math? Crevices swallowing boots, blizzards erasing trails, bears tearing through the night, or something older, hungrier, watching from the ice? UFOs trailing planes, the Kushtaka calling your name, portals swallowing time itself. Pick your poison, but the triangle doesn't care what you believe. It takes what it wants, leaving only questions in the frost, sharp as shards of ice. You decide what dwells beneath, listeners. Is it nature's indifference or a force that chooses its prey? You can drop your theories on our website, taverndwellers.com, or you can join the other Tavern Dwellers on our Discord. You can find the link to that in the episode description. In there, you can let us know what your theory is behind the Alaskan Triangle, or you can even submit your own listener encounter. We're dying to hear what keeps you up at night, staring at the ceiling, listening for the whispers in the dark. Huge thanks to Cryptid for digging out these chilling facts, from dusty archives to whispered local tales, and Neku for weaving the sonic blizzard that's probably going to have you checking under the bed. Are you wanting to dive a little deeper in the shadows? Join our Patreon at patreon.com/whatdwellsbeneath for exclusive behind-the-scenes chills, early access to our creepiest content, and shout-outs in the newest episode. Your support keeps us chasing the unknown, and we can't do it without you. Grab our merch at taverndwellers.com. Those What Dwells Beneath hoodies are going to look pretty perfect for late-night listens in the cold, when the wind sounds a little too human. Rate us on your favorite platform. Your reviews keep the shadows at bay. Next week, we're plunging into another mystery, so be sure to follow. You don't want to miss it. I'm Percival, reminding you, stay curious, stay safe, and keep one eye on the woods.